Okay, we're back.
Few things we missed. I do want to talk about what just passed recently, which was the Video Game Awards. What's your tea on that?
I thought it was a good time, except for the last game. I think that should have been a bigger reveal for something else.
I did want to say that I've been keeping up with the Video Game Awards for like so long now, for a few years. It's so crazy because this past year's Game Award, like this year's Game Awards, really did feel like an official Oscar level award show.
Oh, does it usually not?
No, like it always felt like an award show, but this was like one of the I don't know, there was something about this year where it felt way more official. Maybe because of the performances they had. They had some performances. They had some really big reveals, and they also have the top people in the video game industry. Because when I was watching it, I was like, this feels like a top tier like award ceremony. A friend of ours actually was saying that this was actually the most viewed like award ceremony at the time, or like
what you're saying,
it like broke a record in viewership or something.
Okay,
I don't know, man. I mean, before getting into the content of it, because I have a few of the winners here. Like overall, like just the way they structured the reveals. The host, dude, the host is so good. He's grown. He at this point, like,
does he host every year?
He hosts every year because I think it was his idea. Like he started the company.
Oh, that's cool.
To like introduce the Game Awards many years ago, and he actually got emotional too. He actually was talking about his dad. You know, his dad passed away recently, and his dad was there with him at every single award ceremony. And it sucks because I think this was the biggest one they've ever had. Truly,
Yeah, it's pretty grand.
his come up, I think, when he started was just like an idea, and then he got like no funding for it, and they were supposed to like cancel it. They were supposed to shut it down because it wasn't doing well, but then he kept pushing, and then eventually it ended up being as big as it is now. I think the production was really good this year. So obviously the actual Game Awards themselves, Game of the Year, we saw that coming. I mean, I didn't play this game.
I did download it.
Expedition 33. Oh my God. Like, I didn't play the game, but I've always heard great things about it. It sweeped this year, bro.
Yeah.
And not only won Best Game of the Year, let me just go over exactly what it
everything, basically.
Yeah, it won everything that it was nominated for except for one. So,
Which was what?
I'll tell you right now. It won Best Art Direction. It won Best Debut Indie, which is people were debating, is it really an indie? Because like
it's like a studio professional.
It feels like a studio professional because there's like a lot of like top people from like different companies that came together. Either way, like it won top Best Indie, Best Score in Music, Best Narrative, Best Game Direction, Best Independent Game, dude, Best RPG, and then lastly Game of the Year. It not only did it come in and make a statement, it literally took and obliterated everybody out the scene. Like it wasn't even close. Like to be honest with you, by the time we got to the end,
it broke the record for most one in a night, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because by the time we got to the end and we were finalizing Game of the Year, I just knew that it was game over.
Oh, easy.
I knew they won.
If that didn't win, they would have had to shut the whole thing down.
The amount of like good stuff I've heard about this studio, the entire time, because I think they were. I'm not sure about the full background of it, but it was supposed to be like a lot of these people like left their previous jobs that they hated, and they all just came together to make this small indie studio that would eventually become somewhat of a bigger studio, and they just came up with this idea. And like just looking at their backstory, I was looking at a few interviews with some of the head executives of the company, and one guy was saying like one of the guys came in as like a voice actor, and like she ended up like writing part of the story.
I think I did see that.
It's like a whole bunch of people just kind of came together with similar interests, and they just kind of blended well with each other, and they made this game. I did like how
what the game is like what makes it so unique compared to like, because it's like a turn-based RPG, no?
Yeah, it's a turn-based RPG, yeah.
So what separates it from the rest that made it such like a
I think what people liked about it a lot was not only the music was banger first
I know the
off,
music was like
but I think the story
factors.
also was interesting as well. People liked the story, and they also liked the character dynamics between each other. That was a big thing. I think, you know what the concept is? I'm not even too entirely aware of it. From what I know, it's like every year there is some sort of like being that they have to go and like beat or defeat, and every year you see a number be declared onto the world. So like the first year I think it was like 100, the second year was like 99, and it kept going down. Every year as the number goes down, what that number indicates is anyone of that age or older dies.
Oh, okay. I think I remember
So
someone
like
talking
so
about
like they were
that.
so basically like I think the introduction of the game is like they're celebrating like another year or something, and it goes down to 33. So now anyone who's 33 years old at that point or older automatically dies.
I thought it was you have to like participate in said expedition now.
Yeah, that's what
Like-
well, what's what the celebrations are. Is like I think it's just like honoring the people that are gonna go out to the expedition. So eventually, like obviously, once it hits like 5, it's kind of game over because like no child's gonna go off and like win that.
Yeah.
So I think the concept was like Expedition 33 was like their expedition now to go, and it just show and basically you're playing as the team that goes on the expedition and tries to defeat the final boss.
I'm assuming you have to end it for good though. No.
Yeah, like you have to beat the boss. Like you can't. Which I'm not sure what happens to the story. Apparently, there's multiple endings.
Gotcha.
I will say there was a few other big announcements. Larian Studios, so Studio of Baldur's Gate, they came out with
that trailer was good.
yeah, they came out with their
That's
new
really
their new
good
game trailer. That was with Divinity.
I think. Yeah.
I think it's supposed to act very similar. They said to Baldur's Gate, where it's like going to be like kind of like a role playing game, sort of like a D&D type of style. Dude, some games to me like it's so weird. I'm telling you, the power of like a studio's reputation. For instance, like when they announced Baldur's Gate 3 release, like when it was officially released out of the playtest, I bought that shit instantly. Same thing goes for Dispatch. When Dispatch was announced, before the game was even out, I bought it instantly.
Oh, you just played another game too, no? Wolf Among Us?
Wolf Among Us.
Without spoiling.
Yeah, that was an old game. That was an old game.
That's still like a
that's from
Dispatch-like
Telltale's
game, no?
That's from Telltale games. Yeah, it's very similar to
Decision-based.
very similar to Dispatch. Actually, dude, I won't lie. That was one of the best games I ever played.
So you think that's better than Dispatch?
It's similar to Dispatch, where you have like 4 choices and you gotta make a choice, and it does impact the game. But the impacts, I think, in Dispatch are a lot more expressed because I think it's more of a developed game, so they're able to like. I think it had more resources, maybe. But with Wolf Among Us, your choices definitely affected the story, but it was probably less choices in the game that affected the whole story. Other choices were just kind of like in the middle, didn't really fluctuate too much. But I will say that Wolf Among Us, to me, I like the story way more because it was more of a story-driven game.
How long did it take?
I don't even know. I blew through that shit in like a day, bro. Like I'm so serious. Which is why I kind of like the style of Dispatch, because Dispatch allowed you to play a game. Well, Dispatch only released 2 episodes a week, which is a good way of releasing episodes because it makes it to where you don't want to get spoiled, but also too you don't go through everything in one go.
Yeah, I agree.
Wolf Among Us, I won't lie, like the story to me is just way better. Like the overall narrative is just way better because it's based on like comics or like other comic books or like light novels. It's basically I'm not really spoiling it with you because this is going to be like the first 10 minutes of the game anyways to introduce. The Wolf Among Us plays on the fact that you are going to be playing as the wolf from the story of like the Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf that was blowing the pig's house away. What the game is about basically is just it follows the story of all these fables that come together to work with each other. These fables, like, you know, Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White.
I did not think it was going to be about that at all, to be honest.
Exactly.
With
You have Snow White. You have all these different fables that we all know, the most common ones. Beauty and the Beast, right? They all live in their own respective dimension, their own universe. What happens is that one day they get like warped into basically a new dimension, being modern day New York. So now all the fables all live in New York now, where they were taken away from their own dimension, their own worlds. So then there's something called glamour. So since they all got warped into this new dimension, which is modern day New York, they all use something called glamour, which is like some sort of spell that witches from the fables that also went over to New York. These witches are able to create glamour, and glamour basically morphs you into whatever you want them to morph you into. So basically regular human beings. And so they all have glamour put onto them. The ones that don't really look human, right? Most of them look human though. Like Beauty and the Beast, they look human.
Except the Beast.
Yeah, but the Beast, he's in his human form usually.
Yeah,
yes,
right,
exactly. Right. So they all have glimmer, or the majority of them have glamour, and they simply just live out their lives trying to survive in New York. And they built like a small community in New York where people can come to if they have complaints, if they have worries, but specifically for people who are actually from these fables to assist fables into the integration process of being in New York. And they live much longer than like human beings, so they'll be there for like, I don't know, like centuries, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is already like many years into the future where they've already established a good base of grounds in New York. Basically the story falls, you're playing the wolf, the big bad wolf, and essentially your job is just to make sure everything is in order, make sure that the fables aren't hurting each other, that there's no crime going on from the fables, that they're making sure they're following the laws that they establish for themselves in their own communities. And so you're kind of like the overseer of everything, like sort of like the warden. And then one day something horrific happens, a murder takes place, which hasn't happened in many, many years between fables. And then that's when the story starts. So like you're basically trying to figure out what this is.
That's cool.
And I won't lie, like the plot twist, dude, and like the U-turns that you get hit with is so bizarre.
And it ended on a cliffhanger?
It ended on a cliffhanger, but it was an open ending. The ending of the story, oh my god, dude, it was so good. No, I won't lie to you, it was like some next level shit. I don't know who directed this game, but the ending of the story, you actually decided how you wanted it to end, but it was the same result either way with a black screen. So you'll never find out your answer with either decision you decide to make. But you can only contemplate what happened.
It's like you either turn left or right and then the screen goes black.
Yes.
Type shit.
But then it shows what happens for your perspective and then it stops. So either way, you can only contemplate what you did. But the ending, like, I didn't understand it at first. And then I replayed the scene again and I was like, yo, oh my God. No, dude, my jaw dropped. From start to finish, when you play Wolf Among Us, pay attention from the beginning and to the end. Like, pay attention.
And because I think I saw gameplay, like, so you move your guy around, right?
Yeah, that's one thing I liked about it over Dispatch 2 was that you're able to move around.
Is it guided or is it like you have to like
so there's
search
things,
or you have like waypoints that you go to?
Yeah, it's like waypoints. So like there's like things on the ground. Like 'cause you're an investigator. You have a really keen sense of smell, keen sense of like vision. So you have to go all around and basically just find objects and like figure out what happened at the scene of the crime. If there was a murder scene or if you're trying to find things in an office, trying to locate more information, things of that nature is basically what you're trying to do the whole time. And like that's one thing I liked about it over Dispatch, but that's because Dispatch isn't that type of game. Like Wolf Among Us is more like basically a detective, so you're trying to figure this shit out yourself and come to your own conclusion, take your own notes, things like that. The idea, the concept, based on what I just explained to you, was just way better than Dispatch in my opinion.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's so deep, and really you should play it. I think that's like an easy play.
I'm gonna play it after Detroit because I already started Detroit, Become Human.
Yeah, I want to play that too. I heard that was really good. So I mean, dude, storytelling games are just so good. I never really even like got into them, but I'm glad I'm getting into them.
I think it's a maturity thing. The older you get, it's just you understand. You have better like media literacy, and you could like understand stories and character depth and stuff like that more. So it's just more entertaining than just like a FPS run and gun.
My era of gaming back then was literally just like Halo, shooting games, Overwatch. It was never like give a shot at these types of games. But I agree. I think as we get older, we'll become more interested in those like media forms. We also got the new look at Tomb Raider. We got Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis as well as Tomb Raider Catalyst. So I was kind of confused there because we were talking about it. They were doubling up on the games. I'm very excited for Tomb Raider, but I was confused because I was like, damn, like are they gonna... The previous trilogy that just came out recently, the newest version, they basically showed the origin story of Lara Croft and how she came to be the person, because everyone knows Lara Croft is the girl with two guns. So the trilogy previously was just to show like how she was before she got the guns. So she was just like a regular hunter using bow and arrows all the time. And then we haven't heard anything for a while because they haven't released a game since 2018. They finally released, at least they showcased 2 games from, which is insane, by the way. They showcased Legacy of Atlantis and Catalyst. Legacy of Atlantis, apparently that is a remake. So that doesn't continue the story of the new trilogy that they're making. That is just a remake of the old Lara Croft back in the day and the old games that she was in.
Yeah, I think that trailer looked a little bit better than the newer one.
Yeah, because I think, well, that one had dinosaurs, I think.
Yeah.
That one had dinosaurs. I think. I'm not too sure. But that one looked really good. So I'm excited for that. I'm definitely copying it. But that is a remake. I'm actually more excited for Catalyst, though, because I'm actually interested in the new story they're making in the new trilogy and where Laura's going to end up in the next however many years. Yeah. Because I won't lie to you, playing their new trilogy of showing her origin story, it was good. It was a lot more stealth-like, more like Assassin's Creed-like, but it wasn't as like action packed because you didn't have a dual wield. You weren't like, she wasn't a stone cold killer. She was a killer, but because she had to be. But like the OG Lara Croft would legit just take out a gun and shoot you in the face. Just because why not? I'm excited to see where they take that. Did you ever play any of the new games for them or no?
I never even played one of them.
They're really good. And
I heard
they're on sale right now, dude. I think the whole trilogy is $6.
Oh, that's a good deal.
It's a great deal, bro. Oh my God. I already play all the games, so I don't really need it, but it's a phenomenal game. We also got a new look at the Super Mario Mario Galaxy movie too. I didn't watch the first one. Did you?
Great movie.
You saw it? It was good.
I did watch that.
I mean, they're bringing back the OGs. Chris Pratt's coming back. They're all coming back. They showed us 30 seconds of it, which is, I think we're fighting Bowser Jr. Right?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But
He looks like he's a new antagonist.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of the movie because I didn't really watch it. No, I did watch it
It
actually.
was a great movie.
I just wasn't like-
what it's trying to be, I think it did it exceptionally well.
It was the studio behind Despicable Me, so I do like the animation style they went about because it's very clean animation.
It fits Mario for sure.
Then we also got the Lego Batman reveal. I'm so
look-
excited
that
for
looked
that.
really
I'm
good.
copping that shit, dude.
All the Lego games are.
You guys were telling me that
phenomenal.
Lego game. I thought Lego games like you weren't able to do online co-op. I thought it was only.
I said
co-op.
you were able to do online. The old ones you weren't. The old ones were just couch co-op, but
Just couch
the newer
co-ops.
ones you were able to do online. I'm pretty sure.
Like this new Lego Batman looks so clean,
I think it's a lot more story driven though.
and it's a lot more story driven. You could tell it's open world apparently. And from what our friend was telling us, what they're trying to do is Lego is trying to really emulate what the game would be, but in Lego format. If you look at the gameplay and we saw it,
It's very similar to like the
Arkham Knight. Like
Yeah.
the Arkham Knight where you're like fighting people and you can dodge attacks and you can flip over people and do all these different like it looked like literally looked like Arkham Knight but in Lego form. That game looks sick.
I don't know. There's something about the Lego format that makes it
Clean.
good. I don't know why. It's just,
Apparently, what they're doing is, I mean, they're having it's open world and they're bringing back a lot of the key characters, which is what makes me really excited for it. If it is online co-op, that might be a cop, dude.
for 70. I don't know.
If it's 70 off rip.
I'm sure it'll be.
Oh shit.
But it may be Game Pass though. Maybe Game Pass.
For
so
those
we'll
types
see.
of games, it's always better to wait because they
Yeah.
actually go on sale very quickly. Because Lego games never really stay full price that long. They just never do. That looks like a phenomenal game. How do you feel about Lego implementing? They've been doing this for a while. I just haven't really played the new games. How do you feel about them implementing like voice actors now that they have voice acting in the games now? Because they didn't have voice acting before. It used to be like mutes, just to be more physical hand gestures. Now they have like actual actors.
Well, it used to be like grunts and screams, but that's
front
really it.
screams. And now they have actual actors like talking. How do you feel about that? Because that was a shift they made.
I mean, when did they make that shift though?
Yeah, so they broke their silence back in 2012 with DC superheroes, Lego DC superheroes. That's when they had voice actors. How do you feel about them adding voice acting? Because there's something nostalgic and something unique about Lego games not having anybody talk and it just being like silent.
I agree, but with the route that they're trying to go with this Batman game specifically, how it's a lot more narrative driven, I feel like it only makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt the game. I just think that.
Yeah, I feel like for this game specifically, like it makes sense and it's solid. But like for the older ones, just hearing like the little huffs and puffs and like it's just I like that silence to it. I don't know why, but it's just
Like the grunts here and there.
yeah, just having like the soundtrack in the back, and then whenever the characters die, they like scream, but then that's it.
Yeah, because I remember the old Lego Star Wars games back in the day. Whenever you would die, and all you hear like you hit like that loud screech in pain whenever you broke into pieces. Either way, I'm excited for this game. So voice acting or not, I think it's gonna look really good. And so another reveal they showed off was the Street Fighter movie. I'm not really interested in that, but they brought in all the actors from that film, all the fighters. If we saw Andrew Schultz, I didn't know Andrew Schultz was even in that movie.
I saw a lot of people dogging on him. I mean, I don't really follow his.
I mean, people just don't like him as a person, basically.
Yeah,
As
I don't
long as
really
the
follow
dog
his
on him.
content, but I mean, they're like automatically assuming the movie's going to be bad because he's in it. And so I don't know. I feel like you have to give the shit a chance first, especially with the type of movie it is and how expressive and like animated, I guess, these Street Fighter characters are. You kind of just have to give it a chance and see how the movie plays out because for all we know, he may be great in that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I never really had faith in like video game movies, to be honest with you. So I don't see it doing that well. But I mean, I think it's going to do as well as a video game movie would probably do.
I think video game movies have been doing solid.
Like what?
Mario, Sonic, just saw FNAF. That was great. I liked it.
Yeah, but those
Saw
are
that
like
shit by
they do
myself
as well as a
yesterday.
video game movie would do. Like they're never going to be like top tier movies.
They're in the green every time in terms of how much money they make.
Really?
Yes.
Well, FNAF I know did well because it's also like it's like a stable name. Street Fighter doesn't really feel like it's established itself as like a stable name like that. And the video game industry, yes, but in like
Street Fighter's
entertainment industry,
Street Fighter's definitely bigger than FNAF.
because then they do a Mortal Kombat,
FNAF
and then
just
do
has
Mortal.
a cult following.
But then they did Mortal Kombat, the live action movie, and that flopped. So like this is very similar too, because Street Fighter is literally just fighting.
I think it's different because FNAF is very lore and narrative driven.
Yeah,
so then
narrative
it's like you
driven,
kind of want to see how the story
Also a
plays
scary
out.
movie, so you can argue like take your girl to the scary movie.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat obviously is like for the normal player, you're not really thinking about the story like that. So it's like you probably won't be as interested.
I mean, either way, it was a cool little announcement. Now, one of the biggest announcements of the whole show, which was at the end, which was kind of like the It was like that the game that they announced was called High Guard. That was from the creators of Apex.
Apex. You love Apex.
After, I won't lie to you, what people were talking about is like, I don't know why High Guard is about to pull another Concord. You know what Concord is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to end up being just like that, where it's going to get all this initial hype, come out that first week, and then it's just going to flop. Not to say I'm not wishing them bad, but like, how did you feel about the gameplay? Because it looked
interesting.
It's like every trailer ever made, bro. It looks interesting.
Yeah, it looked interesting. It's just I don't see myself investing time into that.
It's like a 3v3, and you're moving up like it's like a straight line, and you're moving up the line to like invade the enemy castle, and then just to like win the game. But the way it looks
sounds like Clash Royale.
Yeah, which is, I mean, obviously on paper it probably sounds nice. It's a shooter with abilities.
It's Valorant.
It's like well, my thing is like at this point it's hard to enter the genre of a shooter / ability game nowadays, because it would have to be such a drastically different idea.
I don't know. Even when it is different, though, I think that genre has just been so overset. Like it's just run into the ground because of obviously like the pioneers of the shit being COD and like Battlefield, Halo. Like obviously they had their big runs and are still coming out with their things. And then it's like you have all these other ones like Counter-Strike, also a pioneer in it. Counter-Strike and Valorant. Fragpunk came out. Obviously that fell off, but like all these other little versions of this genre, there's so many to keep up with. Like it's hard to get into one.
I mean, the game is literally described as you ride on a horse, you fight, and you raid as wardens, whatever that means. You are considered arcane gunslingers, and your objective is to fight for control of a mythic continent. See, it always sounds nice on paper, but then when you play this shit, it's like, this shit's kind of mid. I don't know. I mean, I'm not wishing them bad.
I don't even think it's mid. I just think the way we consume this type of content nowadays,
it's going to be very like short term.
Yeah, like if this came out 5-10 years ago, probably will be a hit. It's just
probably
like
be a hit, yeah.
People jump from one thing to the next so quick. So many different ideas are being done at such a quicker pace now than compared to back then. It's just like you don't even know where to
go.
Decide, yeah.
No, I agree. Like you're just lost at this point.
That's why I feel like these single player like story games or RPGs are just like better, because you could play those on your own time and the experience still be the same for you no matter what. It's not like if you are a year late to playing this certain game, then everyone's already on to the next. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could just take your time and enjoy the shit how it's meant to be enjoyed and have like that genuine experience, if that makes sense.
Overall, though, the Game Awards, in my opinion, I think it took it home. It actually did really well this year. And I'm honestly excited for next year's Game Awards. Like last year, I wasn't really excited for it, but this year I could actually say like, if they come in with that same energy they brought this year, peak.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
I mean, since we're talking about Game Awards, I know there was also the Streamer Awards. We didn't report on that. Did you watch that?
Saw clips.
I did. I watched it.
You like sat and watched it?
Well, I watched it on 3x speed. There was a few things I want to talk about though, because that's been getting a lot of hate this past week. Like people have been posting it like crazy. Are you aware of exactly what happened or no? Did you context?
Saw there was some controversy regarding like Rakai, Iron Mouse, some of the jokes made. Some people were getting on it because they don't think a streamer event should be taken so seriously or something like that, and acting as if it's the Oscars, which I mean, I feel like it makes sense considering that's like the biggest form of entertainment nowadays.
Yeah, so it's a bit dumb. I mean, I will say that, well, just to go over the winners here, the best musical streamer was Black Boy Max. Makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Best creative art streamer is Emeru. Best role play streamer is Phantom. Best IRL streamer, I Show Speed. Stream game of the year was Peak.
It's interesting.
Best content organization was FaZe Clan. That makes sense. They've been putting a lot of work into it. Best variety streamer was Queso. Queso is like such an underdog, dude.
He is, but he isn't.
He's so like under the wraps. He's never like he's doing his own thing.
He's big, but he just stays in his bubble, so it seems like he's not.
He's not big, yeah. The best just chatting streamer is Kai Cenat. That makes sense. I mean, he's had like the Mafia Down was basically just chatting the whole fucking time. The best breakout streamer was Adapt. That actually brought up some controversy, and we'll talk about that later. I did hear
about that because they were talking about how it should be. The girl came up on stage saying it should have been, I think, Rakai, which, I mean, that's a 50-50 ball. I think either one of them could have won that.
And then the last one was Streamer of the Year, which was I Show Speed, which makes sense.
Yeah, easy.
I mean, he took over the world. Now, where the drama starts, so one of the issues that people had was Fan. You know who Fan is? She was the co-host.
She was the host or whatever.
Yeah, she's one of the co-hosts. Yeah. She was just telling horrible jokes. That's what people were saying. So after watching all of the jokes, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of the jokes weren't actually bad, but the delivery was shit. But let me give you a few examples of fan situation. So for instance, she said to Kai Cenat, congratulations on your 50 Cent documentary. Because like he looks like Diddy.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense.
Because that was a joke within his community.
Which makes sense. But it wasn't funny.
I think it's funny.
No, that's the thing. It is funny. But the way it was like delivered on the like live performance just wasn't good. Like it was just like my issue with Fan, not even the hate. She was pretty monotone, and there wasn't like any setup for the jokes, which is fine. Not to say she has to be a comedian, but at the same time, it's like the way that the jokes were delivered just wasn't good. Like it didn't land. Like the only joke from Fan that I enjoyed, which was actually, I found this funny because it was kind of like underneath her breath, sort of. She's like, okay, let's head over to the homophobic table. Like that was funny. Like I kind of gave it a little bit.
Who was the table?
I don't know who the table was, but it's like obviously by default that was the funniest joke I think all night I heard. But then all the other jokes too were like I said, like just that Diddy joke, people were getting on her for the Diddy joke because of the joke itself, which I think is stupid because literally Kai plays into the Diddy jokes. Like he literally does that on stream. He'll play into the Diddy joke.
I don't know if he necessarily plays into it.
He does. He literally does. Like if you look at his past streams, there's streams of him being like, "Let me ask you this question: like, do I look like Diddy?" But like he'll play into the joke. So it's not like it wasn't a bad joke. The content of the joke wasn't bad. I just think that her delivery wasn't good. That was my whole argument was I think if they had like a host or co-host that were better prepared for delivery like this, it probably would have landed better.
I don't know. I think it might be the fact, like you said, she seemed like a bit monotone, right? And just like
she just couldn't deliver the joke properly.
Yeah, so it just might be that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's the joke itself. And that was just one of the jokes, right? There was a few other jokes. So for instance, I mean, Cutie Cinderella, like I think she did a good job with the production of the Streamer Awards. I don't think she should have been the host. I think it's a lot of effort and work to do both things at once. And one thing will probably suffer. And I think the same thing goes as a host, she just wasn't that good. For instance, same situation, bad delivery sometimes. She looks to Rikai and she says, "What's the coolest thing you've ever stolen?"
It's funny.
It really, but the way she said it really wasn't.
It makes sense though.
It makes sense for him because he went through something. Wait, Jamie was telling me he like went through something where like he got in trouble or something like that.
Yeah, because he stole something. I think.
Yeah, from what I heard, and so it makes sense. But the way she said it, it was one of those jokes where you know how you say a joke and sometimes to recover, you'll overspeak afterwards to recover from it because you feel like it didn't land because it got no fucking reaction from anybody. That's what happened. She said the joke. It was kind of like silent a little bit. Well, and then she was like, "Wait, don't answer that though. Don't answer that though. Don't answer that though." And you just kind of killed the mood.
If that's why if the shit doesn't land, you have to just like
keep going.
You have to. Or you have to play it off in a way where it's like you have to say something that's like awkward but funny afterwards.
Yeah.
To then like lighten the mood, like, "Oh, tough crowd tonight."
That was just one of the jokes. She made a few other jokes that were like kind of mid. That was my only gripe. I think the production actually was pretty good. I mean, there was a joke made to Hassan. I think Fan was like, "Is that like a shock? Is that like a vibration collar on your table?" And then he gets the mic from her and he's like, "I'm gonna put it on you tonight." And like I was like,
that was a good
game.
That was a good response.
Game is game. Overall, it wasn't that bad of a show. I just think that it was a bit cringy at times. And
well, I think it's also the fact that like if you look at like the Oscars, like obviously everyone in that room like has somewhat of a social media presence, but it's not the same as like these streamers. Like a lot of the streamers in that room, a lot of people like in that room have talked shit about each other, had beef with each other, and there's like all these different cliques. It's sort of, I think JB said it's like sort of like a high school environment almost a little bit. So it's like, it's just like the jokes that are being told aren't going to appeal to everyone because there are a lot of egos in that room. And not to say that the same doesn't apply to the Oscars, but it's just like different.
Well,
like,
I think it requires more experience in the host and somewhat of an expert to go in and to handle that big of a crowd of such a diverse culture. That's what I was saying, was that it could have been better because I think the host could have been better. And I think the delivery of the jokes could have been better. But I think they just didn't realize, because they made a pretty big jump in terms of how many people they were having this year. They didn't realize how much of a cultural difference there was between all these streamers. You have like the streamers that would be considered the nerdy table in the cafeteria, and jokes told by each other there would be funny, but into the jocks in the area, they're like, that's just kind of stupid.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. I still think it goes back to the host. Like, I think it goes back to like, they just weren't prepared for that, having that mesh of culture, which ended up making it to where it just didn't, a lot of stuff didn't land the way it should have, which is like whatever. I do think though there
I
was
don't know. That's a hard event to host, man. I mean,
no, it is a hard event. Yeah,
that's a
like,
hard event.
That's why I was saying that you would need a professional, because it's like an Oscars, like the Oscars or whatever. I'm not saying every host is amazing, but for Oscars, like they typically have an actor that goes up. Will Ferrell, someone who's not only a comedian but also well versed in being able to handle those types of situations.
I feel like the jokes at those events are a lot more broad.
Well, no, because they'll go after some people here and there.
Yeah, I know they'll go after.
The same thing with the show, but what makes it different is like delivery and also like your experience in being able to do things like that. I think Cutie, you have to realize is like she's hosting an event that she's been doing for years, but it's an event that they used to do for like a small community of people, and now it's getting bigger. You cannot get to an Oscar level size and still deliver the shit that you're delivering unless you're getting better along with it. Not to hate on her, I think she did a good job with the production. Like actually, the production of the show was good. Again, besides the jokes, there was some drama. Like you had India Love come out, and when she got like an award or something, and she was like saying Rakai and DDG should have won Breakout Streamer of the Year, which is like whatever. I mean, I think people are kind of blowing it up too much, but she kind of pulled a Kanye West Taylor Swift moment.
Yeah.
Is she wrong? I don't know. I think to undermine someone on stage at that very moment is just kind of like putting 2 cents in that you don't have to at that very moment.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
I think talking about it afterwards is fine. If you want to say like Adapt deserved it, I still would have wanted Rakai or DDG to win that. But then like to say that on stage right after he got his award doesn't really make too much sense to me. I don't know, because I think Adapt's funny as hell, dude. I think he deserved to win that.
They both deserve. I think any one of those three could have won that award, honestly.
Really, one of the funniest parts of the night was I saw a compilation with Flight Reacts where he just didn't go and he won an award.
Yeah,
and then you just see him like screaming at the top of his lungs in his room, being like, "Guys, we did it, boys!" Like that's what I'm saying. Like, here's my speech, real quick.
Yeah.
And then the lady's just standing there, like holding the award. Like, dude, it was so funny, dude. Flight Reacts is hilarious.
Yeah.
I do think that they had so many different categories too. They had like 35, 37 different categories of awards. Either way, I mean, people were hitting on that. I don't think it was bad as people said it was. I think it actually was pretty good. But I will say that
I think it's a cool event.
yeah, I think it's a cool event. I think they just need time to prep it, make it better. Now, there was something that came out recently. Well, not recently. It came out in November. Did it come out in November? Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Before the next season of Stranger Things comes out, I do want to recap what we just saw
The
the first
next
four
couple
episodes.
episodes.
Dude, I will not lie to you. Like,
I thought you said you weren't going to watch this
I
shit.
wasn't going to watch it. Honestly, with Stranger Things, dude, I've never really been like, I enjoy it when it comes out every year. I told you, the first season is my favorite season because it introduced the whole idea. This season, I'm not going to give it a high rating yet because there's only four episodes, but it's definitely turning up a bit. So off rip, a few things happen, right? So we kind of figure out
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler warning. They've been doing a few things during that time skip from the previous season into this one. So they've been searching for Vecna, which basically they've been rating the Upside Down more than 30 times, I believe. They've had like 30,
It's been a lot
30 plus sessions
a lot of
just
crawls.
basically just going to the Upside Down, a lot of crawls, and just trying to find and locate Vecna to kill him. And Chop, and is it Hopper? Hopper's the one that's been kind of going out there with his guns, which which is kind of silly to me because like I don't think Hopper's got any shot to kill Vecna with just basic guns on these crawls.
I mean, he's the most equipped to do so.
Without 11, there's just no way. I think 11 has to be in the room, and he has not taken 11 to
But
go.
the point of her not being there is for her to train and get stronger for when he does
Yeah, she's been having her training arc.
find him. Yeah, and I think the guns are just to protect himself. I don't think he's going in there with the intent to kill Vecna because I think he knows he can't kill Vecna himself.
Maybe just to find him, maybe. But I mean, a few things were happening. So we figured out what everyone was doing. So they're doing the crawls. The whole town is in quarantine. Robin hosts a radio show. She does so that she can communicate with everybody on the ground floor. With Dustin seems to still be, hated, I guess, by the jocks and other people because he was still affiliated with Eddie.
Well, yeah, he's still repping his loot.
Yeah, exactly. And so he was repping, he's still in support of Eddie, which makes sense for his character. But I did find it funny because they showed that one scene with Lucas standing up for him against the jocks. And that was kind of a funny scene. He was sort of acting tough in front of them.
Yeah, that was very...
It was very
corny-ish.
Yeah, it was very corny.
Very, very Disney.
Kind of goofy Disney-like at that point.
But the acting got better from there, but that was very interesting.
Yeah, so you could tell Lucas has been sort of doing his own thing, and so has Eddie, and so has not Eddie, but Dustin. 11 has been, like you said, ducking the military. She's been in her training arc, basically. Let's see here. Murray is a smuggler for the town now, so he just smuggles weapons, grenades to the crew, other important things that they might need. Steve and Jonathan, they appear to be competing against each other for Nancy. Or am I tripping?
It's definitely what's happening.
There's a bit of tension there, right?
Because I'm making a video for these episodes right now, actually. And I was saying, I feel like Nancy's enabling this behavior, and it's pretty toxic.
I know. Yes, dude. I was gonna say that right now.
Pretty toxic.
I think Nancy, like
if you were really down for Jonathan like that, then you would tell Steve, like, what are you doing? Relax. What are you competing for me for? Because, like, this is my guy.
It does feel a bit toxic because she's very much aware of what they're doing because she's in the room.
Toxic.
She's in the room. So she's very much aware of what they're doing.
But Robin also mentions it too. She's like, she said something when they were climbing the tower, and Nancy kind of just like smirked and shrugged it off.
Yeah, no, it does seem very. How do you feel about the tension between? Because who's she? What was his name? I always swap the two. Who's the one that she's dating now?
Jonathan.
So it's so weird because I feel some tension, bro. Because he popped out a ring. We know he's. You know what I'm saying? Like he's definitely gonna. You can tell he wants to propose to her, but it also feels very weird too.
I don't think he's earned it.
Yeah, I don't think he's earned it, but also too is I don't think she's. I think they're gonna break up. Like I don't think that it's weird because I don't feel like she is getting into Steve, but then a part of me feels like maybe she still has a lingering feeling for him, but she hasn't shown too much sign of that this first 4 episodes. And Steve, I think he's cooked. I think that boy's gonna take a gun to the head, bro. Did you see that one little part with him and Robin when he goes to turn on like the power, and then Robin's like, "Don't get shocked and die."
Well, yeah, in the trailer from yesterday, there was a scene of him and Dustin, and then he said, "If you die, I die," and then Dustin was like, "If you die, I die." So that's obviously gonna be. I don't know if that's gonna be if that's like teasing a death between one of them, or if it's just like a bait. Because in the trailer, you see Robin actually turning the switch that you're talking about.
Oh wow, you're right.
I think Robin's gonna die because
Robin just calls it on herself.
Because she developed such a close relationship with Will that like, and she was like the first person that really sees him for who he is. And I feel like with his newfound power, she's gonna die and it's gonna turn him up, and then he's gonna just like go crazy.
I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, it's a bit weird. I mean, the thing is, I don't know what to expect from this season because everything feels very like. They can't just kill one person. They gotta kill. There's gotta be a few bodies.
Gotta kill a couple. I feel like
because there's no way you're gonna do like an Avengers level mission and not come out like
gotta kill a couple.
And not come out
I think Robin's definitely gone. I don't think they could kill Steve, considering they already killed Eddie, and that would just break Dustin even more. I think they should kill Dustin. That would be good. That would be sad, but that would be good. I think Robin, Dustin. There's got to be one more. I don't know. Maybe Nance. And then Jonathan and Steve are like, there's our girl. Neither of us have a girl.
You know? Damn, dude. Like, just end up like empty-handed. Fuck.
Because it doesn't seem like, as you said, Nancy's into Jonathan like that. Like he didn't earn that engagement.
Yeah, she feels very distant from him this whole time.
Also, see the way Steve's been moving. It's like I could easily see her turning to him personally.
But I don't think there's signs of that happening.
But like I don't think, it's just like there's with the amount of time left, I just couldn't see that happening, and it being like a strong, built-up relationship. Even though they have been like working together deeply, but I mean not working together deeply, but working together frequently these last couple of seasons. But I think if she were to go, then those two kind of have to just like cooperate.
At that
and
point,
just like do it for Nancy at that point.
Do it for Nancy. That's plausible. And then another thing that happened too. Well, apparently, so Max is still in a coma, but we later found out that she's not brain dead.
I knew that was going to happen.
Okay, so that's basically us getting caught up as to what everyone's doing. So just some key points to keep in mind here for what's actually happening. So again, they're searching for Vecna. So Will starts to kind of like experience. I don't know if you've seen Harry Potter. Will starts to experience like visions of like Vecna, seeing through his perspective. It kind of operates in a way where. I know you haven't seen Harry Potter, but there's something called a Horcrux. So it's very similar to Harry, where Harry was cursed by Voldemort, but a piece of Voldemort went into Harry. And so Harry's considered a Horcrux, which basically a Horcrux is something that holds a part of Voldemort's soul, who's the main villain. And so essentially, in order to kill the main villain, you have to kill the holder or the Horcrux guy. So Harry had to actually die once and then come back to kill him. The correlation's there because Harry would also see visions through Voldemort and also would have similar strength and power to him. Same thing as Will. Will has similar abilities to Vecna moving forward here, and he's able to see through like his perspective in his eyes.
Wouldn't that apply to all the kids though?
No, because this is mainly
they're hooked up.
Because he's also the one. Because you could also argue that he's the one that got away. Because remember, they showed the past vision. No, they showed the
nigga. If he wanted him, he could have taken him.
But why didn't he take him?
Because he thought he was weak.
Thought he was weak, and what ended up happening was it almost seems like he like gave him something that he was meant to take back, but he never did because he got away. Versus, Vecna was collecting other children. He had to be collecting other children too. There's no way he wasn't. So, but Will was the one that got away.
Will was the first one.
So I'm sure he was.
Well, he said that Will was the first one to open his eyes to see what was possible with like his power or whatever.
Oh, you're right.
But I think
more of a.
I just think he thought Will was like a bitch. So it's not even worth it to kill him or do anything with him.
Yeah, so it does seem like Vecna, though, has given Will some of his power. There's actually a very big theory right now where people are saying that Vecna is actually controlled by the Mind Flayer. That Vecna is not controlling the Mind Flayer.
I think that's 100% true.
Yeah, because the theory also comes from, there was actually, I never saw it. I'm not sure if you did. There's a play that they made separate from the show that actually shows the origin of Vecna. So basically Henry Krill. And they showed Henry Krill before he like got pulled into the alternate dimension. Which
is probably what they're going to show.
Yeah, he got pulled into an alternate dimension. And then it appeared that he was being controlled by the Mind Flayer. So it does seem like, at least this theory, if it holds true, and if we can take that as canon, that Vecna's movements and his actions are being manipulated by the Mind Flayer itself, not the other way around.
I think it's a guarantee, especially given the flashback that Max showed of him attending the same school as Joyce. Because knowing how Vecna operates, he could have easily killed Joyce in that moment when he was pulling up on Will too, but he left her alive. So I feel like with her, it's probably a situation where like she was one of the only nice people to him in school. And like he was just kind of taking it easy on her. And in the trailer, you could also see him kind of glitching out. Like how in Wreck-It Ralph.
Break the internet?
Nah, the turbo nigga. He was like turning from the king and he was glitching out.
Where do you pull this shit off your ass, dude?
That just popped up in there, man. But that same like type of scene was in the trailer, and he was kind of glitching between how he looked during like the slaughter at the facility with 11 and like Mr. What's-It in his like little top hat, and he was kind of like tweaking. So I think that's him going from Henry to Vecna, Mind Flayer, whatever the fuck.
Well, yeah, like I said, it does make sense. And because it also could be like maybe he's a vessel for the Mind Flayer.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's why that probably makes the most sense. Moving on from that, so then also we see that Holly Wheeler is now being targeted. Well, she got targeted, she got captured by Vecna, which is, by the way, like, that scene was also sick because it was the dad and the mom just trying to defend their daughter. The mom was going in on that motherfucker,
Karen,
bro, swinging. But no, she's cooked. There's no way that the one of them has to die.
I think if they were going to kill him, they would have killed him there. That's why I'm convinced that Nancy's going to die.
Dude, there's no way like the Demogorgon did not kill one of them. The Demogorgon literally slashed her right open.
They're both in the hospital in stable condition.
As of right now, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them died.
Unless because we see in the trailer that the Demodogs do get into the hospital. So unless they get into the hospital and then just start mauling niggas.
I suppose that could also happen. I mean, we don't know what could happen, but I mean, I do find it interesting because Holly gets picked up, and I like how, I'm not sure if you noticed it, but like the title of the show, so like the first episode of the whole series was called The Vanishing of Will.
Yeah, and then it was The Vanishing of Holly.
And now it's The Vanishing of Holly.
Yeah.
And people were saying like this is just basically what Vecna was supposed to have. This is what Vecna's doing now is what he was supposed to do in the first season, but failed, and everything that came out of that failure plagued him for it. Like he ended up beating his ass. He had to solve all these things, deal with all this shit. And now that he's resolved them, now this is going to be the reset for him. He's going to do what he originally planned to do from the beginning.
That makes sense.
Also, we got exposed to this like special wall this like wall inside the Upside Down, where Vecna's just putting all Holly, but also every other kid that he's gonna capture.
Well, the wall is like a wall around the city.
Yeah, and when he puts them into the wall, it's like it basically like puts these kids into like their own dream, or like his dream or his mind or whatever, and they're all like in like this like stasis.
Infinite Tsukiyomi.
Yeah, infinite Tsukiyomi, where they're just living out life in a separate dimension in their heads. And that's when the big reveal comes later down the line with Max here. But before I get into that, there's a few things I want to touch on beforehand. There's a bit of conspiracies coming out with Mike and 11, where how did you feel about their conversation when they spoke to each other and they said that they want to talk about what's next for us, what's after this? I won't lie to you, it felt like that shit felt kind of like somber. Like it didn't feel like, as in like it felt like there was something lingering in the background there. I don't know about you, but I think either 11 or Mike, one of them has to die. I think Mike's gonna be the one to die. I don't know why.
I don't think so.
I think Mike's gonna die. He's beloved by many, but I don't think him and 11 are gonna have a happy ending. Not based on that conversation.
I think if Eddie wants to go, it's 11.
It could be 11 as well.
Because I don't think.
But then imagine Hopper losing another daughter. No, dude, that would be so. No, that's so.
But imagine being But imagine Hopper
No,
being
if
the
I
one
was
to
Hopper, I would
die.
kill myself.
Imagine Hopper being the one to die though, because he already basically died in the show, and then we're like, oh, he's actually alive. I don't think they'd kill him twice like that.
No, I don't think they would kill him.
But it's like, yeah,
But if
I mean,
Hopper
I
stayed
guess.
alive and 11 died, it would like actually it would be 0 point in living at that point.
But if it's a moment where it's like,
But it would be so traumatic.
If
Like it
it's-
would be crazy.
yeah, but him and her talk a lot about like compromise and stuff like that, like they in their little conversations. So I mean, if it's a situation where it's like she's taking matters into her own hands for the greater good of the world, and she like has that one-on-one dialogue with him and lets him understand like it's straight, I feel like it would be a bit different than how he lost his first daughter.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I do think one of them has. There's not going to be a happy ending. Like I think at least how they were talking about it.
The couple that I feel like has to prevail though is Lucas and Max.
I was about to say that. No, actually, I was gonna.
I don't think that they could kill. If they were to kill like either of them, it's either like Max just gets lost in the dream world and dies, or like Lucas gets killed on the outside. And
What
then
I was thinking was
she
that
wakes
Lucas
up.
dies.
Couldn't see that happening.
And the reason I say that happening is like they're kind of, at least with the bully incident, they portrayed him as like this protector, this guy. Well, at least they try to. It does feel like if there has to, one of the couples, one of them has to suffer. There's no way that one of them doesn't suffer. So I'm thinking like Max finally comes back, but then the somber part about it is that Lucas dies in the process.
I couldn't see that happening.
Because that would be fucking game changing if that was the case. Yeah, that's what I'm theorizing that. I'm not saying this is evidence,
because they've already went through so much with their relationship and then broke up, got back together basically, had this movie date planned. Now she's blind if she comes back. So I couldn't see it. Because I feel like it also depends on where Vecna / Henry ends up too. Because I feel like there's a reality that's maybe far-fetched where like, since Max is fully able-bodied in this spirit realm, where like if Lucas gets put in the same state and then it's like they live happily there because like in the real world again, like she can't see and like her limbs are like all busted up. You get what I'm saying? So it's like if he were somehow to be put in there, but like actually in a positive sense because they unflay Henry and he's actually like a solid dude at the end of the day and he's able to like use his powers to, are you getting what I'm saying? And just like leave them in there. I feel like that's.
I mean, it could. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
That part of it, I think. I mean, we'll have to see. Again, people have to drop though. There's no way they don't. And the flesh wall is like surrounds Hawkins, but the center of it is in the Hawkins laboratory. It's kind of crazy how everything's coming back full circle, like just kind of like in the center of Hawkins laboratory where everything started.
Yeah.
And then obviously I spoke about Jonathan proposing to Nancy, which that makes me think either her or Jonathan is gonna die.
I don't think there's any.
There's 3 couples right now. There's no way 2 out of the 3 don't take a hit. There's just no way.
Any realm where Jonathan dies. That just wouldn't make sense to me. Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know. It's just
if Steve dies, I'm gonna actually cry a little bit.
Impact. I just wouldn't be like impacted that much if Jonathan were to go. Just because, not that I don't like his character. Maybe I just forgot like the depth of his character from the first couple seasons due to like how isolated they were in season 4. But I just feel like it would hit a lot more if Steve or Nancy were to go. But I considering that Nancy is the main pillar of that little love triangle, it would just make so much sense for her to go. And then it's like neither of them get to experience that, as sad as it is, that future with her that both of them clearly like have in their head. But then with the 11 and Mike thing,
I won't lie. If they kill Mike, that'd be the fucking craziest shit ever. Because Mike
killing
Mike has always felt like the main character in the whole show.
He definitely is. But killing Mike would be pretty monumental because obviously 11 would go crazy, Will would go crazy, and like whatever forces in their way, they're taking that nigga out.
No, so, dude, Will. There's been some funny memes of Will and Mike.
That would kind of make sense. And then with the whole Lucas and Max thing, I think they're the one couple out of the 3 that doesn't take a hit. I think they'll be fine.
I mean, and obviously we know we finally get to episode 3 and 4 where it's like the game plan now is essentially what they're trying to do is since they know where Vecna is and they know where that flesh wall is, they know that he's going after kids because they went after Holly. They now are they know the next kid that they're going to go after through Will's visions that he's seeing is Derek Turnbow. Mm-hmm. Which Derek Turnbow turned out to be really hilarious, by the way. Like, that kid is fucking hilarious. But they go to save him, so they recruit him, and then before they can get to the other kids in the area, the other kids get taken in by the military because they think that they have a better shot at protecting the kids over the crew. Now the team has to come up with a plan to infiltrate the military facility to get the kids to save them, to prevent Vecna from getting his hands on all of them. Before we get to that main event, there was that reveal of Max being alive. Max now, she's always been she's not brain dead. She's just living in like that dimension inside of Vecna's head.
Yeah, I think she sold when she saw the portal.
Well, she was saying that the music had to keep playing for her to reach it.
Yeah, but she was like stalling a long time. Like if I saw that shit, I'm dashing towards it, bro. She was just like sitting there feeling her hand and then start jogging. Like she had to really run after that thing.
She was found by Holly, and Vecna, Vecna was clearly telling Holly not to leave the house, and she did, and she went to the forest. So she found Holly. Well, Holly found Max, and then Max was explaining to her that they're basically living inside of Vecna's memories. When she escaped Vecna the first time she got into that memory, she ended up in that cave, and something about that cave does not. Vecna is like terrified of the cave. He just will not come in.
That's where he originally got corrupted, I feel like. That's why he's scared of it. I think that's going to be a really good episode, too, because I think there's one episode coming up called, like, Escape from Camazotz, which is clearly going to be, like, them going through his memories. That's going to be solid.
I think another key thing that happened before the whole Will reveal was we saw 11 find her sister, Callie.
She's dead, for sure.
You think Callie's dead?
Yeah.
I think Callie
she gets taken out quick.
They can definitely play with that. And there's just so many routes you could take it. And then finally we get the big reveal with Will. That was definitely like, at first I was like, this shit's not gonna hit. And it definitely hit, dude. When Will, when he was just shaking and shit, his eyes go white. Yeah. And then all you see is just like the demi-dogs and the demogorgons just levitate above. Yeah. And he's just grabbing them one by one. He's like right hand to grab one of them from like across the world to save like Lucas. Another one to save
that's busted.
Mike, and then he uses his head to grab another one. Mm-hmm. Like he's like slowly twitching, and then he's slowly, dude. No, Will is literally it right now. And then at the end of it, when he's just like his eyes go back to normal, and then he like rubs his nose because it's bleeding, kind of going back to the 11 moment of her also using her powers. It's like, dude, this is it, and it kind of goes back to how I think it's gonna end. I think it's gonna be Will 11. Obviously, everyone's gonna fight. The final boss being Vecna, or maybe the Mind Flayer, whoever it is. But I think that Will or 11 has to die, one of them. And I don't think Will is going to die, because I think Will has gone through all this shit for us to do a U-turn on his character. There's just no way. There's no way.
It's possible.
I think either 11 has to die, which ruins the relationship with them.
I think Will could die.
I think one of the couples has to have a happy ending. So I think that if the happy ending is going to go to somebody, it would probably be Walt, Lucas, and Max. I agree with you. But then that means that the other two couples have to take a hit.
Hopper and Joyce could be considered a couple too.
Yeah, but I'm ignoring them. I think for the main people, for the main kids, for it to be more traumatic, I think it has to be either 11 or Mike that dies.
I could see Will dying though.
I can't see Will dying.
Because he died.
Unless like I said, my theory holds up, which is he is a part of Vecna and the Mind Flayer. He has to die in order for everyone to die.
Well, he does take damage when they get
Hey,
incinerated.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my whole theory behind it, is that he takes damage, he feels pain, and they also felt the same pain. So like what's to say that part of the process is he has to die?
Yeah, no, I could see that happening.
But even if he-
then if that's the case, then I guess Henry would have to die too. No,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think
I was gonna
I
say,
think Frio has to die. I think
I think Will can die because he died when he got captured because everyone was like pronouncing him dead, but then he came back, but then he was sort of like a shell of himself and very just weird until recently where he's actually like taken matters into his own hands and for the greater good of the world. I feel like he would take matters into his own hands and just be like, GG's.
dude, I think if Will dies,
I could see Will dying.
part of the reason I'm saying that one of them has to die is, again, it goes back to like you mentioned, Will feels pain. He feels like the same thing. He like sees visions through their perspectives. Like he is a part of them at this point. That's why I feel like either he dies or 11 dies defending, or it'd be crazy if Mike dies and then it's like a 2v1 because Will and 11 are enraged now, and then one like my thing is I just don't know how many people they're gonna kill, because they can't kill one person, and they certainly cannot kill 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 people. But there has to be, I think, if you gave me we love ranges around here. I'm gonna say like 3 to 4.
We love Rangers. I think 3 or 4 is fair.
3 or 4 is fair, and I don't think Robin's gonna die. You said Robin could die, but she's
I
like,
think Robin's toast.
Robin to me is like in the middle right now, because it's like I feel attached to her, but also not really.
Because
I would feel more
that's-
pain if
that's-
Steve
That's
died.
why I feel like they'd kill her off, because I feel like they have to kill off like a couple, not insignificant, but just like second tier characters,
It could be that.
as well as like a main tier character or two. And out of the main four dudes, if I were to rank it to like from most likely to least likely, I think most likely to die, I think Dustin's gonna die. I really do.
No, I don't think Dustin's dead.
I feel like Dustin's dead.
No, I don't think so.
No, you know what? I think it's either. This is tough because it's like you can't kill off Nancy and kill Dustin for Steve's character specifically if he were to survive. So it's like if you're gonna kill
That's a
off
good point.
Nancy and keep Steve, Dustin has to survive, like guaranteed.
It has
I feel
to.
like
What I don't like is like what a lot of studios do, because like it's taking a big risk too by saying that if you die, I'll die. Like with Steve and Dustin saying it to each other. Imagine they just both drop.
it could easily be a bait.
Yeah, it could be a bait, as in like, oh, they're not gonna die, or one of them is gonna die, or both. If both of them drop,
I think that would be pretty poetic.
that
I'm
would
not
be
gonna lie.
so poetic.
That'd be pretty.
It would be so poetic. But at the
Like, if
same
they were
time,
just
it's like I
like-
don't know how I'd feel about it. But then it would just be. I like Steve so much, though. I actually like Steve more than Jonathan at this point.
I think if Steve were to die, I would prefer him dying with Dustin. If he were to like go out by himself, that would be like, it's gonna be sad regardless, but like it would be like, damn, Dustin like lost another one of his homeboys. You know, he just lost Eddie. But like, if it were to be some shit where it's like Steve's trying to sacrifice himself, and he's like, Dustin, go, but then Dustin's like, I'm not letting this shit happen again. If you go, we'll go out together. Given the quote, if you die, I die. And it's just like they go out together, smile on their face, blaze of glory, helps the team advance in some way. I feel like that would be.
That would be kind of fucking
That'd
sick.
be
You're right.
good.
That'd be kind of fucking sick. I mean, I don't know, man. I won't lie. It has gotten me hyped for this next season. Like, yeah, honestly, you're 100% right. I was kind of doubting it. I just like what they're doing now. And you know what it is? I think I like how they got older. Like, they're so much more mature now. The
A lot of
acting has
people
gone.
don't. A lot of people don't like that.
I know. I love it, dude. I think it's like sick. Because that's like, I like seeing how much they've progressed. Because they're still high school students. So they're still kind of like immature. But they're old enough to realize like they have to do X, Y, and Z, or else big consequences will be on the other side of that wall. I'm excited for these last 4 episodes. We're definitely going to do a review on that. But in total, how would you rate the first half of this season so far?
9.
You said 9?
I just enjoyed it thoroughly. My only issue was like the acting at the beginning, but in terms of like the plot and narrative, I mean, I've enjoyed the whole thing. So I can't really. I couldn't justify maybe an 8.5, but like I couldn't really justify putting it any lower than that.
You know, we're definitely going to keep up with it when it comes out. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is the JJK episode that came out. Well, the first 2 episodes, I think. So off rip, I won't lie, dude. JJK, their direction is kind of trippy. Like that whole those 2 episodes for this next season, I was like,
I think it's the best direction, and
I was like kind of just all over the place with it. Like I was like just seeing the movement feels so like weird, and so does like the coloration. Everything feels like
I think it's great.
It feels like I'm on. Like, have you ever taken mushrooms, bro? It's like I'm on a mushroom high. Like it's like if I'm on a mushroom high watching that show, I don't think like I'm like on cloud 9.
No, I think it's the best direction in all of anime right now.
It felt very. It was just very weird because it started off of like it was very silent. Usually just running.
But it's so good.
Usually just running. He's just running.
Good. It's so good for storytelling. Like I don't see any other. And maybe I just don't watch enough shows. But like, there's always so much dialogue in these shows, and I don't think some of these studios realize just like how much emotion and environment you can convey just from like a nigga walking down the street and just hearing the echo of his footsteps and just getting different camera angles of that. Like it's just so good. And just there was that, and there was when we went to the Zenin household and like the dad was talking about how, or the grandpa was talking about like how the dad died, and like you're getting these different shots of like the clan having the discussion about who's going to be the next heir to the throne or whatever.
Heir to the
and
clan.
It's just like there was that, and then there was the little Choso fight where they're changing the colors of the scenes to like black and white, and then like the whole screen goes red because of the blood. It's just like so good.
Well, I think from start to finish, it's like at first I was like confused to what's happening, but I know he's still in Shibuya, and then obviously they show us present day, and then they show us like past, and then they go back to present.
Yeah,
and they were basically showing that Yuji and Choso stayed behind to still clear out a lot of the curses in Shibuya, and then we see that Yuta has now been assigned to actually kill Yuji, and then we see that one of the heads of the Zenin clan, the cousin of Maki, was also assigned to kill what was his name?
Well, he wasn't assigned to do anything. He just
I think he was told to kill somebody. And he wasn't looking for Yuji. He was looking for someone else.
No, he said, because they said Megumi.
He was looking for Megumi.
If Gojo was incapacitated in any way, then Megumi would be considered the rightful heir to the throne. And he was like, well, I'm not going to let that happen, so I'm just going to kill him.
Yeah, so he's looking for Megumi.
They explained that Yuji was in Shibuya, so then he was like, I'm going to go kill Yuji. So then Megumi comes to me or something like that.
Yeah. He's going to use Yuji to bait Megumi.
Yeah.
And essentially, when he gets there, he meets with like he sees him. By the way, Maki's cousin's busted, bro. Like that's one thing I love is like they really do show like because the Zenin clan is just straight physical strength. It's
like
just,
he is busted, but then just goes to show how good Choso is because he was dog walking.
He was disgusting too.
Yeah.
Well, so how do you feel about the fight between Choso and Maki's cousin? Because to me,
solid.
That was like so clean, and also Choso's ability to never bleed out because of his cursed energy is busted. As long as he has,
I think because he's a cursed womb, so he doesn't have like.
Well, because he recycles his blood as long as he has cursed energy running through him.
Yeah.
So that's what they said. So I was like, dude, what? And so like you're thinking the whole time, like I'm thinking like, yo, he's getting whooped right now. I'm not. There's no way he's gonna win this. Claps his hands together, and it was like, I don't even see half the shit that's going on the screen. Next thing I know, the guy's on the floor bleeding out, coughing up blood.
Yeah.
What did he do? He switched bloods with him. Like he was saying like his blood's infected or something.
Yeah, because since he's the cursed womb, I think his blood's not compatible with his or something.
So he was like legit dying because of the blood not being compatible.
Yeah,
and it was like, what the fuck is happening?
Good.
And then we show Yuta versus Yuji because Yuta's going after Yuji as Choso's taking care of Maki's
like a
cousin.
chase down.
It was a chase down. But like, dude, Yuta's actually so scary, dude. The fact that he actually explained that the only reason that he's not better than Gojo is because Gojo has the 6 eyes. And the 6 eyes, I didn't even know. The 6 eyes allow him. I'm not sure if they introduced it before. I just forgot. The 6 eyes allow Gojo to not use up any of his cursed energy, or pretty much use almost nothing of his cursed energy.
Yeah, Yuta has more cursed energy innately than him.
But his energy does get used up.
Yuta can run out because the 6 eyes Gojo can't run out of it.
Can't run out of it. Or damn near, it's impossible for him to run out of it. Damn near impossible. So it's like, that's the only reason Gojo's better than Yuta. But it's like, Yuta, I did like how when they were fighting, because it wasn't like a full-on fight. It was just like an ass whooping, because he really was. There's just no losing. Like there's no winning against Yuta, like as Yuji at that point. There's no way. But Yuji was holding his own though.
End of story. Yuji might take him. I don't know.
I mean, either way. But either way, he was holding his own. But then we get to the part where Yuji tries to like read his moves. He got like a past memory. He was saying to himself, like normally when people are fighting, the most experienced fighters, they calm their curse energy and they only amplify when they're about to hit at the very last second to make sure that their moves are not predictable. But with Yuta, you can't do that because Yuta's at 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Like his energy's around him. How Yuji was explaining it to himself in his mind was like every move is a one-shot kill. Like, dude, that's so busted, bro. And then you think like there's some shot at winning, and then obviously out of nowhere Rika comes in. I won't lie, just him having Rika as like as a familiar is the most busted thing in the world. After that, I mean, the fight with Choso was sick. And then really the animation, the music was sick. And then we get to like the ending, which was basically Yuta spared. And of course, there's spoilers here, as I did mention it before.
Yuta spared Yuji.
Yuta spares Yuji.
To see Tengen. Yeah, and then that was really it.
I was genuinely surprised and honestly genuinely impressed by the actual show. And like just seeing the animation, I agree with you. If there's one word I could put JJK into now, like in one category, it's just simply ambiance. Because the fact that first like sequence of like 5 minutes was just like him running and walking and just like gliding across the Shibuya, but like you can see the setting, you can see the area he's in, and it just tells the story that way. It doesn't have to say a single word. And then also Yuji definitely got stronger because this man's one-shotting these curses as he's just cleansing them. Man's legit. I mean,
Choso said it, yeah.
He's legit like one-shotting curses, like taking them out one by one. And Choso also too. I don't know how far his like blood blending goes, bro. But that shit, like when Yuji was baiting the curse into the highway, and then Choso just one-shot, like snipes every single one of them across the world. It's like, what the fuck is this? I won't lie. Choso now being the big brother of Yuji is going to be disgusting. It's so great. It's so great. But besides that, I don't think there's really anything else. I mean, like we want to touch on this week. I mean, that's basically it. Frankly, if one thing to take away from this, if you haven't seen JJK, go watch it. Not to say to pirate it, but do what you gotta do, brother.
Sail the 7 seas.
That's what I'm saying. If you haven't seen Stranger Things, get caught up because this shit's ramping up, bro. Start taking your bets as to who's gonna die. And lastly, that's actually it. Fuck it.
I gotta get a haircut. We'll be back.